Today's episode is sponsored by ASICS.
Welcome to Pretty Fit
The podcast by fitness partners who love a good challenge.
and a good laugh.
We'll try anything and share how we got there because
We're not elite,
we're definitely not pros.
but we are pretty fit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pretty Fit. I'm Rev.
And I'm Paige.
And together
We're
are Rage. And we have a very special guest with us today, Dr Anthea Todd.
Thanks so much for having me, girls.
Thanks for coming.
We are joined today by Dr Anthea, a women's health practitioner and the face behind Female Fundamentals. And this conversation is one that I feel like every woman is going to need to listen to.
In a world where we're constantly being told how our body is doing, from sleep scores to our step count and heart rate zones, we're slowly lost the ability to actually listen to it. So today we're bringing it right back.
That's right. And we are talking about reconnecting with your body, what it's actually trying to tell you when you slow down enough to hear it, why so many of us feel so wired and exhausted, and how to create more spaciousness in a life that feels so full.
This one feels like a deep exhale and maybe a little reminder that your body isn't something to fix, it's something to come home to.
So yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Dr. Anthea.
Thank you, girls. I feel like I want to listen to this episode already. That was so nice. I want some of that in my life.
All the guests love their little
Yes.
intros.
Well, some of them get a bit uncomfortable when we talk about the accolades. They're like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Lean into
No,
it. You're
bring it on.
amazing."
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. We're going to start what we do with every guest when someone comes onto Pretty Fit. We start with some rapid fire questions just to break the ice.
So, start off with music genre while training.
Ooh, like rage. I love either
Like screamo?
electronic.
Yeah.
No, screamo I can't do.
Okay,
But
what's
electronic
rage?
or Avicii, that type of thing,
Oh,
which isn't
yep.
rage. But then sometimes
Mm.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Oh, I do love Linkin Park.
Do you? Okay, go to comfort show or movie.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I have a confession about that.
You haven't watched?
I've never
Don't-
watched it, but I watch
No.
it through TikTok.
Oh,
Sometimes
so you
I
got
just
all the
try and piece
spoilers.
together. Have you watched it?
Like on TV when it used to come out weekly.
No.
Oh no, I've got we went to Bali and I got the
Oh.
box set
Yeah.
illegally, and then I would rewatch it so many times as a
With
kid.
the paper.
I know all of the. That's how I got my medical
Wow.
degree. I actually didn't go to university.
Oh, so you're not
Yeah.
actually qualified. You just
Yeah, yeah.
I was.
It's have we
just
been
like, we
scammed?
can't call
Why
that
have
if-
we got this guest on the podcast?
I know, but then I was like, oh, maybe it was just like an
You're so
inspiration from.
Paige is like, wait, am I a doctor? 'Cause I watched it.
I'm just there for Dr. Steamy.
Okay.
Fave choice of movement.
Ooh,
Skateboarding?
skateboarding, surfing, something outside
Mm.
that isn't in a line. So I don't really like running, girls. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
linear. Yeah, you like.
I do
the
sometimes I
the
like
flow.
to run, if it's storming, I'll go for a run in the rain. I love running in the rain
Yeah, right.
when
That's
no
nice.
one's out running.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
a bit, I like to do something different.
I like
That's
that.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
beautiful. Okay, we got high school celebrity crush.
Oh. I remember having a Taylor Lautner poster.
Hostess.
Yeah.
Do you know who that
I
is?
was team Jacob.
Yeah.
Twilight.
Twilight, the werewolf guy.
Yeah. Oh, so Taylor was which one?
I'm actually
the
dating a
werewolf.
guy that looks very similar to him now. I'm just realizing that.
Oh my gosh.
No way.
Amazing.
You'll have
When
to
I
show us
met,
a
when
photo.
I was,
So it's
yeah,
full
you
circle.
manifested.
Manifested it.
I loved Adam Brody. No, not Adam Brody. What's his name?
I love
Jenner.
Adam Brody. Brody
Yes.
Jenner.
Right.
Sorry, Brody,
Brody
Jenner.
Jenner.
You got
Oh,
me confused.
he's
I had
from
a
the
real crush on
OC.
him.
Brody Jenner.
He's from the hills, isn't
Yes,
he? Yes,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
related. Yeah.
yeah.
And then he was like my screensaver, and then I met my husband, and he's kind of similar, and I was like,
Manifested.
yay,
Yeah.
jackpot.
Favorite post surf meal. So when you're just on a
Ooh.
big surf.
I love Cocobella chocolate
Oh yes,
coconut water.
Yep.
That
Love
is
the
amazing.
chocolate.
I went for
Have
a
you tried
surf.
putting that in coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Oh.
Purely don't like the
I feel like
taste.
I'm going to feel bad about myself today.
I just don't like the taste. You can have
Okay.
coffee if you want. I just don't like the taste.
Okay, good.
So we'll jump into the main event now.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through your journey? You started off as a chiropractor, but worked your way into what you do now, which feels a lot more holistic and rooted in women's health.
Mhm.
What sparked that shift for you?
The main thing that sparked it was that I started out as a chiropractor. I was born into a family of chiropractors. So both my parents are chiropractors. I'm one of 5 kids. My older brother is a chiropractor. My younger sister's become a chiropractor. I have aunties and uncles on both sides. There's a lot of it. So my grandma became a naturopath when she was 50. She left school when she was 14. So she had like 7 kids and then was like, I really love this. So it was very holistic growing up. It was always, if you have a headache, what's your body trying to tell you?
I love that.
Take a Panadol, take a Nurofen. It was always, maybe you need to get out of this noisy environment, have a sleep, have some more water, that type of thing. And I found a letter that I wrote to myself in grade 6, so, you know, like the time capsule things.
Yes.
It's like, oh, what are you going to be? And I wrote chiropractor in there. From as soon as I can remember, I always wanted to do that. I'd always wake up in the mornings on family holidays, and my dad would wake up early and he'd teach me about the anatomy of the ear and like the anatomy of the kidney. And so I just love it. I love the body. I always have. And then in year 12, I was tossing up between, because I loved Grey's Anatomy, tossing up between becoming a surgeon or a chiropractor. I wasn't too sure. And our family friend was a general surgeon in our small town, and I was really lucky to do work experience and go into surgery for the day.
Whoa.
So I got to see an emergency cesarean. I got to see a removal of a gallbladder through laparoscopy.
Wow. And you're like, not for me.
Yeah, I got to see an anal fissure get fixed. So like someone's like legs up in stirrups and all things. I was like, no, I don't think I want to do this.
No,
and I don't want to be on call, and I don't want to be under really bright lights all day. I'd much rather help people before they get to this stage. And like there's a time and place for that. But I wanted to help people before that. So I decided on chiropractic, studied it, absolutely loved it. Some of the best years of my life. Got out and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I can help so many people. This is all the dinner time conversations I had growing up, mum and dad coming home, and they're incredible at what they do. My mum always has said that patients are like a Christmas present. When you walk in, it's like, well, what am I going to find? Like it's trying to understand what's happening.
It's so cool that she's so passionate about it.
Yeah, they both are.
And you are. That's just, it's so beautiful to hear someone in their field being so passionate
100%.
about it.
Yeah. So then I got out and I was like, yeah, I know everything, like you do when you finish a uni degree, and then you get out and you're like, I know nothing.
Oh, right.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
People aren't textbooks. So then I started caring for women that were coming in for a chiropractic issue. Maybe it's back pain, neck pain, musculoskeletal things. And they would also be like, I'm struggling to sleep. My periods are really heavy. I can't fall pregnant. I'm always bloating. My hair's falling out. I'm getting these crazy menopausal hot flushes. All of these different signs and symptoms. And I'd be like, well, this isn't a chiropractic thing. I'm going to refer you out to your doctor like I was trained. And they would come back after doing all the tests and they'd say the doctor said there was nothing wrong. And they'd be like crying. And I had this like rage in me. I'm like, this is not normal.
No.
I know that the body is incredible. It is the most powerful thing. Like you guys alluded to tech before, like, oh, we wear wearables and all the things. We think that AI is the most incredible thing, which it is. But there are trillions of reactions happening right now in your body without you having to tell your body to do it. And it's always adapting to keep you alive. It is insane how powerful it is. And for people to go, oh, there's nothing wrong and now you've got all these signs and symptoms, like that doesn't make any sense. Like it's actually not normal for you to feel these things. So then I thought that the doctors in my small country town didn't really know what they were talking about, which is not the case. I went on and studied a master's in women's health medicine and reproductive medicine. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And the doctors know exactly what they're talking about. It's just that they're trained in, if it doesn't show up in these parameters, then we can't use our tools. And their tools are medication or surgery. So it's like, it's great news that it's normal because it means you're not bad enough for medication or surgery. But also it doesn't mean that you're functioning well. And that's where I learned, I'm like, it's actually broken. There's no one that's caring for the people that are lost in the space between symptoms and answers. So who's caring for them? Because I got told as an allied health practitioner that doctors would do it, but then doctors get told there's nothing wrong. So then what do we do?
It's like it's the most frustrating thing too, like that gap, that in-between gap where you think you're psycho because you've got all these signs and symptoms, but you go to a doctor which is meant to be the person to actually help you and they're like, you're fine. So then most people just live their life like that.
We have both actually personally on different times and everything had the exact experience where we've gone, we feel so burnt out, I was short of breath doing a really simple thing. This was me in my 20s. Like it was really quite bad and alarming. and then just got turned away and said, you're fine. You just need to rest more.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Or
And
it's
then
like
similar to Paige.
in your head where
Yes.
it's not necessarily, yes, our mind plays a big role and it impacts our body, but also you can't just say like it's in your head, just go rest.
Yeah.
What does that even look like? And that does impact our health, but what are you actually going to do about that? How are you going to change the patterns and beliefs that are driving someone to be in that position in the first place? So that's where after studying medicine, I was like, oh, this is great, but I'm sort of missing some gaps. And then I went and studied functional medicine, which is incredible, but also there's a lot of information. Right. It's like, where do I go? Is it your gut microbiome? Then you can go down this whole rabbit hole where people go, it's only the gut and you have to focus on the gut microbiome. And then people only talk about the nervous system, or people only talk about the thyroid, or people only talking about the liver. And they're like, that's the most important thing. Like this also is too complicated. It's not accessible to a lot of people. The body knows what to do. Like, we just have to come back to the fundamental things. And that's where piecing everything together, that's where I came up with the female fundamentals, or what I call the 4 fundamentals, which is what your cells actually need to function. So that's your nervous system, metabolism, nutrients, and blood sugars. And when you care for all of them, your cells have what they physiologically need to work well. And the last factor of this is what I alluded to before, is what I call the energetics, which is the unseen stuff. It's our beliefs and our thoughts that actually impact our physical body health. So it's being able to piece all of that together and helping people understand that when you use your body, not your bias, to know what to do, it's so much better. Because I didn't even mention, but I had 3 heart surgeries when I was growing up. That was part of the reason why I was thinking maybe I want to be a doctor, like a medical surgeon. And also I loved Christina Yang on Grey's Anatomy. But I was like, oh, this could be great. And there's a place for medicine. There's a place for surgery. I almost broke my neck. I got airlifted, and it was like, oh, I'm so grateful for people that know what to do in this circumstance. But who are you going to when you're lost in the space between symptoms and answers? And it's a chronic thing. There's like, what are we going to do? And we often outsource that, and we need to come back to trusting ourselves, back to your point where you said, oh, well, then you sort of feel like you're going crazy because as a society, we've pedestaled someone that has a lot of numbers and letters after their name, or a lot of experience, but we have the most experience in our own body. But there's a lot of societal conditioning and culture and women not trusting themselves and the patriarchy. Like, there's so many things that impact that, but it's always coming back to, if we can connect with our body and trust our body, that is like the grounding of being able to listen to it and know what to do.
It's so much, I think, too, just information and educated. Like, we are all just not educated on anything like that. And I suppose because you had your parents above you, you were educated from such a young age, where it's only like now we're educated because we're in our 30s and we're wanting to know a bit more about our body. But I think like even in my 20s, it would still just fly over my...
The definition of wellness was very skewed and very,
all those skinny me teas and all the things. Wellness is what you look like. So I know a lot of people with 8-packs that I wouldn't really want their health.
Yes.
Yep. And definitely it's normalized. I think it is societally getting better. I mean, in terms of speaking to women in my community or speaking to work friends and that kind of thing, it's always, oh, I went to the doctors, they didn't listen to me, I'm going to go again. Like, I'll go to a different one. So I do think, even though it's not where it needs to be at all, I think it's being recognized that we have been gaslit for most of our lives and that there is an answer, or someone that may be able to provide an answer. But I mean, it's timely, it's costly, it's just so frustrating that it's that way.
Yeah, which like I can slowly see your change as well, but like if anything now is not wrong with me, I actually won't go to a doctor first. I will see someone who is in women's health. And I think people are starting to get there, but they're still not there yet for everyday symptoms that you have. And I have so many clients that have gone to the doctors and done the same thing. They're like, oh, they've done my bloods, they're sweet. And even me, I went and got all my bloods done and they were like, nope, you're fine. I went and saw like a women's health specialist and they were like, you are not fine.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, trying to push the education out to people like someone like yourself
And
is.
trusting all those symptoms that you're feeling.
So what are the four
Yes,
fundamentals?
that was my question. We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So your four fundamentals are your nervous system, metabolism, nutrients, and blood sugars. I say them in that order because it's just easy to reel off.
Yeah.
They are all equally important.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they all impact each other. So an example of your nervous system, I explain it in my book as like a traffic light. So we have a red light, an orange light, and a green light. So a green light is when we feel calm, curious, creative, playful. We have spaciousness. So we feel open and we feel like, oh, I'm going to let life love me. Like you're not in defense to things. You don't feel like things should be a certain way. So that's a green light. Then we have an orange light, and an orange light is like the roadworks that are on Gold Coast Highway at the moment, right? And you're like, oh, I'm trying to get to this podcast interview and I'm a little bit late, and what's going to happen with this, right? That's where we start to notice different things happen in our body. We get a bit agitated. We want to toot the person in front of us. We get a little bit of rage start to come out, right? So that's our sympathetic nervous system. And we get all of these bodily functions start to change when our nervous system is in an orange light. Then we can be in a red light. And as I said before, I love to blast music in my car. I don't know about you guys, but I love to listen to music loudly. But if I pull up to a red light, I might turn my music down a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that?
Yeah, and parking as well.
Yeah, right? Why? Why do we do that?
I don't know.
So sometimes parking might do it because I don't know what it is. I could probably look into it, but like if the music's down, you can concentrate more when you're parking. But when you're just parked at a red light, often it's because you don't want to like draw attention to yourself or like the other people around you, right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of a fawn response, which is people pleasing. You can do like, oh, well, if everyone else around me is okay, then I'll be okay. So that's a red light thing. And also sometimes when you're at a red light, you're at the start of the red light. You might be like zoning out, thinking about 50 other million things, and it turns green. You don't even realize until the person behind you toots you. That's like a disassociation. So we're not connected. But a red light often can feel like a green light because you're like, oh, yeah, everything's sort of like fine, but you're just not connected.
Right.
You're quite disassociated. Yeah. So those are the three sort of types of stages of your nervous system, and we need all of them. Imagine if we only had green lights. Chaos, right? Imagine if we only had orange lights, also chaos. Only red lights, terrible, no one would go anywhere. Yeah, so we need all of them. They're all really good. Again, your body is incredible. It does not do things to get back at you. It's always doing things to help you. So if anyone's listening to this and they have symptoms that they've had chronically, it's not that you're broken. It's not that you're just always deemed to have this. It's that your body is in this state and we can unlock it by listening to your body in a different way. So that's your nervous system. Then we have metabolism, and I think of that like the engine of a car. So a lot of people listening to this might be like, oh, well, if you have a slow metabolism, then you're just unlucky and you can look at a cookie and gain 50 kilos. Or if you have a fast one, you can eat whatever you want and not gain any weight, which actually isn't what metabolism is. I want you to think of it like a car engine, which is if you get into a car and you just slowly drive, how hot's the car? How hot's the engine?
Not very hot.
But if you get in the car and you really drive it fast and you're going crazy driving,
It's hot.
it gets hot. Yeah. So when you have a fast metabolism, your generally body temperature runs hot. Versus if you have a slow metabolism, your body temperature runs cooler. Why? Because metabolism is just the conversion of energy.
Okay.
A car engine does what? Turns fuel into movement. Our cell metabolism is turning our fuel, what we eat, into metabolic functions. So our hormones, how we're actually exercising. If we exercise more, we need more movement. Yeah. So people that have a slow metabolism might be like, my hands and feet are always cold, whereas I really have a cold nose. I had a patient yesterday that I was speaking to, and she's like, yeah, I'm laying in bed next to my partner and he's wearing boxer shorts and I'm wearing literally 2 layers of pajamas. He's like, are we in the same bed? Like, what's happening? Yeah. So that's where our metabolism comes into play. So if someone's listening to this and going, oh, I'm so unlucky I have this metabolism, know that your nervous system impacts that, but also what's happening with your nutrients and blood sugars impacts your metabolism. They all impact each other. So if you go into an orange light, if you're running late to get here, do you feel cool or do you feel hot?
Very hot.
Hot.
Yeah, because you've gone into an orange light. If you're shut down and you're disassociated and you're like a bit, do you feel cool or do you feel hot? You feel often cool.
I'm trying to think about that. If I was like running late and I'm like, I can't even think about it. I kind of do cool down, I think.
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily a good cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's off. It's like sort of like a numb cool down.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're numbing out.
So that's where those two come into play. Then nutrients are sort of, I use this car analogy because it's easy. And nutrients are like what you're filling up your car with. So yes, we have the micronutrients, which are things like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, zinc, copper, all these things. And we also have the macro ones, which is proteins, fats, carbs, fiber. So we want to make sure we're getting a good balance of those. But we can also have things that are like tainted in our fuel. So we might have heavy metals, or we might be exposed to environmental things. And this is where sometimes I see a lot of women that are particularly health conscious, and they're the people that have realized and done a lot of reading and they have a lot of information, but they are disconnected from their body and their wisdom. So they're looking at everything else outside of them that's going to attack them. They're like, oh, I've cleaned up these plastics. I've cleaned up, I'm not eating these inflammatory foods. I'm not doing this, but I still have all these symptoms. I'm like, because you think life's going to attack you. Everything, you open your fridge and like attack.
Yeah.
Like it's a piece of broccoli. It's okay. Yeah. So that's where sometimes we can be really hyper alert. And that's why all four of them come into play. Because if you're only focusing on nutrients, I see so many women that have their diet nailed, the exercise and movement nailed, but their nervous system is like cooked.
Okay.
It's and when your nervous system is like that, it shifts your nutrients. It makes your body hold on to certain nutrients that slow you down.
Right.
It makes them dump things that speed you up. So you're like, I don't know why, I'm just so exhausted, but my nutrition's all dialed in and I'm not over exercising. It's like because your body is shifting all of these things. It's doing trillions of things without you noticing. It's trying to keep you alive. So we need to make sure we balance all of them. And then the last one is blood sugars, which is, you imagine your car's like a hybrid car. So it has to have two modes. Because if you, for some reason, were stranded on a desert island, you had water, you'd survive more than 7 days because your body has fat cells.
Stores, yeah.
Yeah. So we switch into burning fat, or we burn fuel in our blood sugars. So we need to be able to switch between them. If we can't switch, then that's where things like insulin resistance come in. That stuffs up our hormones. We get more adipose tissue. All of these things start to occur, and then we get all these knock-on effects. So when our nervous system is heightened, our body goes, we need more blood sugars, because then it will increase blood sugars. When it's decreased, it will decrease our blood sugars. So if you're like in a red light state, and you might be someone that stands up quickly and you go, whoa, I feel really woozy. You might be someone that has hypos, or you wake up in the middle of the night because your body's going into these low blood sugar episodes. Right. So there's lots of different signs and symptoms that we can have. So if you're noticing things that are abnormal, but your doctor said everything's fine, I always come back to, are you actually supporting your four fundamentals? That's my question. Because that's what we've looked at medical. Medical is fine. Your doctor's reviewed you. Great. That means, okay, now we need to use a functional lens. And functional is that confusing space where you're like, this is wellness. What do I do? Am I meant to be taking this NMN supplement that everyone's talking about? Or what about peptides? Or do I do saunas or ice baths? Or it's so much information.
Yeah.
And everyone that I see is coming in craving more information. I'm like, you actually don't need more information. You need to just focus on these fundamental things and listen to your body. Do that. And you will, she's like, oh, and this, I'm saying this because I was that.
Yeah.
Even with all the training that I'd known, I'm just so interested. I'll take this thing and this thing and this thing. I'll take all these supplements. I was the person that had a drawer full of half-used supplements because I'd sort of work and then I'd be like, oh, I'm still noticing this. I'm still noticing this. I'd fall back into the same patterns. Oh, right. Okay. For me, my main one is my nervous system that I need to watch out for. And then the knock-on ones, I can more easily control the other ones.
What is something that you would look out for, like in your nervous system? Just saying that that's something that you have to look out for. How do you gauge that?
Well, often it'll be if I'm not sleeping well, I'll notice that.
Yep.
And also there's little things like I'll have people in my life say, oh, you must be so busy. I'm like, okay. And I hate that. I hate it when people say that I'm busy because it hurts my soul, because it's like, well, I'm not too busy for you. Like you're a lot, like I want to be, like that's one of my core things. I want to be in connection with the people that I love. But when I am, I actually want to be there. You know how you're there, but you're not there?
Yeah.
You're thinking about all the 50 million other tabs that are open in your head. So if I feel like that's happening, I'm like, okay, my nervous system's doing that. But also if I have 50 million tabs open on my actual laptop, I know that is also a sign that that's happening. So the main thing is if I'm lacking spaciousness and I feel like I'm not in the moment, I know my nervous system is in either a orange or a red.
And in terms of spaciousness, can you describe that a bit more?
Yeah, you had that in one of your episodes, and we loved that because I think we personally really lack spaciousness. And you said that it's, you know, it's like because we're in such a fast-paced world, and the examples that you had weren't what I thought would be spaciousness. So can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So this is something when people are talking about, okay, what do I do for my nervous system? What am I going to do? It's another fucking thing to put on your to-do list. You're laughing because you're women after my own heart. I know.
You're talking about sleep and your nervous system and the tabs on the computer, and I was just like, don't open your laptop.
Yeah, there's a lot. And this is the thing, when you're ambitious and driven and you want to help a lot of people, and it's like, I just want to make the most of my life, right?
Have you read my journal? Like, literally what I say all the time.
Yeah.
Not enough time awake and then not enough time asleep.
And when you said, you're here but you're not here, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Right, wait, what do I have to do? Yeah. So if there's anything, and that's how I woke up this morning, because my day's very full today, and this is what I say is a wording thing. I'll say very full instead of busy.
I was just going to comment on that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a nice thing for me as well. But also in terms of spaciousness, this actually comes back to your primitive brain. So when there is space, it allows us to go into the green light. So if you imagine you're in a jam-packed, when I was 13, we were on a family holiday and we were in Hong Kong, and it was like really hot, and they have the people that their job is literally to push you and squash as many people into the train as possible. And I was like full of rage. I was an angry teenager, I would say. I would repress a lot. And I brought my arm back to punch this old lady, and my mum was like, no, you are not going to prison in Hong Kong. Like it was, but so why I'm saying that story is because there was a lack of what? Spaciousness. Yeah. So there can be spaciousness in physical proximity, but also it's spaciousness in your calendar. It's spaciousness in your body. So I love to think of this, and because fun and play is one of my main values. And when you're having fun and playing, you're in a green light. You can't be playing and being in a red or an orange.
Yeah.
You just can't. So I tell my patients and the women around me to imagine that they're a lioness. So a lioness laying in the sun on the savannah, how does she sit? Or how's she laying? Like, is she curled up like this?
No.
Yeah, she's like
sprawled
out. Yeah, exactly. She's sprawled out. And what she's doing, she's scanning the horizon really slowly. And when you scan from side to side, if someone's listening to this and they've done vagal resetting or nervous system work, that actually triggers specific nerves in your brainstem to calm you down if you look from side to side slowly. Why that is because what does a predator do?
Scans.
A predator is slowly moving from side to side. What does a prey animal do? They don't do that. They're not moving slow. They're moving fast. Right. They're like, what's happening? Where am I moving? And I'm hiding behind a bush. I've made myself really small. I'm in the fetal position to protect me. Yeah. So when we actually create space, with our body and open up, that automatically calms you down. Like if you guys do it right now, if you just like sit and curl your shoulders forward.
Oh, that's how I was sitting.
Like this, right? Sit like that. But then also now sit more upright and bring your shoulders back and down.
Oh,
how do you feel?
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm an icon.
Yeah. You're a lioness, right? So you can play around with this in terms of, okay, what's happening with my physical body? And you can do this when you are cleaning up the kitchen bench in the morning after everyone's had breakfast. Are you wiping it like this, being like, oh, quick, I got to get to the next thing, get to the next thing, get to the next thing. And then all of a sudden you're in bed at the end of the night thinking about the 50 million things you didn't get done and the things that you have to do tomorrow. And then what this is telling your brain is, I'm not okay because there is not enough time, space, resources, money, time with my friends, time with my family, time at work. It's like there's just not enough.
Yeah.
And when there's not enough, your body goes, life is out to get me. I have to protect myself. And then that can be, okay, I've noticed that I get physical body tension and tightness. So you're always this person that has physical body ailments because you're holding on to a lot of things. But then you can also notice that you're the type of person that's like, I don't have any time to do anything, and I'm always rushing from one thing to another thing to another thing, and I'm always protecting myself, so my immune system's always in protection. What happens when that happens? Your body starts attacking things that is yourself, and then you get autoimmune conditions. Depending on which tissue it's attacking, you get a label of a different diagnosis. So your body will hold on and start to do things when it's trying to protect you. So one of the main things I do for the nervous system is create space. You are a lioness. When I go for a walk in the morning, I find it hilarious now because I walk past people and I can tell that they're like locked in. They're going for their walk like, this is my walk. And I get up every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm listening to this podcast and I better make sure that I'm moving fast because I better make sure that this – exactly, right? It's like I have to measure this.
Yeah.
It's like – for what? Like literally for what? It's not a fucking competition.
I do.
No one's going to say, you
High Rocks isn't life.
9,000 steps, you loser.
Yeah. Or it's like, if I don't get 10,000 steps today, then I'm going to get sick and I'm going to get all these diseases because all these experts have said you have to hit 10,000 steps to do this stuff, right?
It's like we've all created this hustle mentality in life that you have to be busy, you have to be always doing things and like creating space. I mean, I'm doing more of it now, but for me, when I first had to start doing that, I was almost like not embarrassed, but like I didn't want to say that I was doing nothing, like, or that I was creating more space. It was hard for me to actually say instead of being busy and doing all of the time.
Okay, quick break from the episode. So most of you know by now, ASICS just dropped the Super Blast 3 and we actually travelled down to Sydney for the launch. It's those striking purple shoes we have been raving about.
Yes, they're amazing and we've tried them on all sorts of runs, our short, our long, our easy, our tempo, and honestly, they've been amazing every single time. And they now come in a new sleek colourway, white and black for that more neutral look.
I'm a big fan of this new colourway. It's so cute. You've seen the purple and orange before, but now this white is definitely more for that minimalist look. One of the coolest upgrades in the Super Blast 3 compared to the older versions is the new FF Leap foam. So it's lighter and bouncier. It feels even more energetic and springy from the first step.
And the best part, they're comfy and supportive no matter how far or fast you go. Whatever run you've got programmed, they just work. If you want to try the new Super Blast 3 yourself, head to ASICS to grab a pair. And a big thanks to ASICS for sponsoring today's episode.
We can go a little bit more into the nervous system and brain if you guys want.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's where we want to sit.
So the brain has lots of different components. You may have, and if people are listening to this and they're a wellness girl and they've done a lot of research, it could be, the amygdala, the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, the cerebellum, all these parts of the brain.
Yeah.
We can just lump them into 3 hubs. So we have one hub which is responsible for what you feel. So this is what I call the body part of the brain. So that's detecting what's happening inside your body. So what's happening with your hormone levels, your iron, your body temperature, your respiration rate, your blood pressure, but also the sensations in your body. Right now, if you guys are sitting here and you actually really need to go to the toilet, your body's going to give you that signal and you're not going to be paying attention to anything that I'm saying. It's just going to be, or if you all of a sudden like, I've got gastro, just come on. You're like, I'm
out.
I'm like, see ya, right? Yeah. That part of the body or the brain is responsible for what is important that's happening inside my body. I have to detect everything here. And also what's important in my external environment. Again, if we're all sitting here, but the fire detector goes off, we're going to stop what we're doing and go, do we need to pay attention to that? So that's that part of the brain. It's what we feel for our safety and security. Then we have another part of our brain, which I call the action part. The technical term is a central executive network. But what this does is it's task action. So do you guys play tennis? Or have you played tennis?
We did the other week.
Yeah. But you're not like tennis pros.
No.
Yeah. So if we went to go play,
I won.
I've played once and now I'm Serena Williams. So if you're starting to do something new or that you have to focus on to like do the task, you go into this part of your brain. So when you first learn to drive a car, when I first learned, you drive for 15 minutes. Oh, Mum, I'm exhausted. Like, there's no way I could drive 3 hours to go to Melbourne. And now it's like you drive 7 hours.
Autopilot.
Like, where did did I stop at that stop sign? What am I doing? Yeah, because you don't have to focus on it anymore. It's actually ingrained into the last hub of our brain, which I call the story part. And this is what we think. So we have feeling, What we do, action, and what we think. What we feel, do, and think make up our reality. Everyone's reality is made up of those three things. Yeah. So for the third part, the story part, the technical term for this is called the default mode network. Why I'm saying that is because when we are not in our body, our feelings, when we are not in action, we default to our thoughts. We default to our thinking.
Wow.
Yeah. So when someone is it's a classic sign and symptom of being in the story part is that you're in rumination. You're in the overs. You're overthinking, you're overworking, you're overanalyzing, you're overgiving. You're just in the overs. Yeah. So this part of the brain, how it works, the actual software, how it works, is that it's predictive. So if you ask it a question, it's going to tell you an answer based on what's happened in the past, what it thinks is going to happen in the future. So this is where a lot of when people are like, oh, I've had these significant traumas in my past, and that's why I have these beliefs that come out, and then you predict your future based on the past. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the whole manifestation.
I have obsessive compulsive disorder, so I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah. So this is where, okay, that's that hub of the brain. So if there's obsessive compulsive disorder, if there's any like anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, any mental health label that you want to give, a lot of the neuropsychologist experts talk about it's an issue with the brain not being able to switch between these hubs because, again, they are all important. The body doesn't make stuff up just because. Nothing is arbitrary. So when we can flow between all of these areas, it works really well. Yeah, because one of the main core laws of physics, I didn't make it up, Einstein made it famous. There was someone, I looked it up the other day because I keep on saying it. I'm like, it wasn't Einstein. It was someone else, but let's just say Einstein said that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is just transformed. That is one of the number one rules of physics. I didn't make it up. It's like as true as gravity. So when we have any form of energy, it could be a table is a form of energy. Yeah. You burn it, it turns into a different form of energy. Yeah. But when we have a thought, thoughts are energy. They're actual electrical impulses. We can see them on fMRI scans. Like we know that they're happening. So often what happens is when we have a thought, we're in the thinking part and we don't want to feel whatever's underneath it. We would just go thought, action, thought, action, thought, action, thought, action. And then we get stuck in the overworking, overanalyzing, just all the overs. Yeah. So when, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever found yourself in the story part, the thinking and the ruminating, has thinking more got you out of it? No, it hasn't worked for me. Yeah. So we might think and we go, oh, okay, that's the thing I need to do. And then you go into doing. You go, oh, and then you're like, oh, I'm burnt out. I'm worn out because I'm doing, oh, okay, I just need to rest. But I have all these thoughts around resting and it's not good to be resting because I must be lazy, or what happens if I rest and I'm going to run out of time and I really want to get this stuff done? What happens if that happens? It's like, so that is predictive. That is your brain. You are in story. Yeah. So the best way to get out of that is you get into your body or you get into an action. I prefer to get into body because if you're always in action, this is the loop that I was in. It's like the classic overachiever, the classic, and I had this belief that I wasn't an overachiever. People would say that. I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, that's what perfectionists and overachievers think because they always think that nothing's ever perfect or they could have achieved more. And I'm like, oh, okay, right. That makes sense. So we can have a lot of these beliefs, and from a lot of the trauma training that I've done, they talk about this is where a lot of our beliefs get stored, but the best way to actually move them through is to actually move the energy. Remember, we want the energy to be able to move through it, so we have to feel it. If we don't feel it, our body holds on to it because our body's like, oh, okay, you're not going to feel this. Don't worry, I'll hold on to it. And that's where there's different practices of Chinese medicine. They talk about if you have a lot of anger and you haven't processed it, it's going to get stored in your liver, and people get liver cancers when they haven't drank a drop of alcohol in their life. Or we have a lot of fear and that gets held in our kidneys, or we have a lot of paralyzed will and that's our bladder, or we have a lot of boundary issues and that's our skin and our gut and immune system. So there's different parts of our bodies that can hold on to that. I sort of explain it like a glass of water. If you have a glass of water and you drink it, it's a day-old glass of water, it's okay. Yeah. If you drink a 2-day-old glass of water, okay. A week, wouldn't really want to, but it wouldn't probably make you sick. A 10-year-old glass of water actually probably would make you sick. Yeah. So it's the same thing. When we have our day, actually having some time and space to process and actually metabolize that through our body and allow that energy to flow between thinking, feeling, doing actually keeps us in alignment, and it helps our body. That's how we actually stay connected with our body. Otherwise, that's where people find themselves climbing this ladder and they've achieved so much and they get to the end of it and they go, I feel like hollow. I don't feel anything. I thought I would feel this. Yeah. And I don't, because what you're avoiding was actually a feeling to begin with. So you have to be able to go into the feeling and go, okay, I'm just not going to resist that. Like you guys probably would have heard of the pain times resistance equals suffering. Have you heard of that equation? It's a lot of like marathon runners and things talk about it. Well, I think I've heard David Goggins talk about it. If you have a pain, and let's just call that emotional energy of any kind, it could be laughter, right? It could be, I'm watching this show on Amazon Prime. It's like Last One Laughing. Have you heard about it?
No, I have seen.
It's so good.
Oh
if you haven't
watching
seen
the
it.
British?
The British one. Yeah. It's basically, it's a room full of comedians. They're in there for 6 hours and they all try and make each other laugh. If you laugh, you're out.
They're not allowed to laugh.
They're not allowed to laugh.
I've seen that.
So why I'm saying this is because if we swap in this equation, it's pain times resistance equals suffering. Let's just change pain, because pain is just an emotional energy. Right. The emotional energy could be anything. Okay. It could be laughter. It could be sadness. It could be anger. It could be physical body pain. It could be anything. When you resist that times resistance, we get suffering. Right. So, I don't know about you guys, but if you're ever at school and you were laughing in hysterics and you're like, oh, I'm not meant to be laughing and otherwise I'm going to get a detention. What's the teacher going to do and all the things? What do? How do you hold in a laugh? What does your body do?
It bursts it out.
Yeah, it bursts it out. Or you're like, right? Or you're like, what happens if you hold in a fart? Right? Tension, tightness. Yeah. Like there was a story of this lady who was like a model or something and she was in a relationship with someone and she got hospitalized because she held in all her farts or something. There's this whole thing because she built up all this gas. But this is what happens when we resist. We get suffering. Yeah. And when we actually allow, that's where pleasure comes. There's this whole thing of like whatever the emotional energy is, but when you actually fully feel things and allow them to move through you, that's where pleasure comes. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that it's good or bad. What the thing is if you resist it and we don't allow it to move through. And a lot of that is because if I fully feel this, I'm not going to be okay. Yes. I won't be okay.
I can't stand it. I couldn't sit with it.
It's going to last forever.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that. And then you don't fully allow it and you don't feel safe to hold it. And it's all the things. So it's about building safety and trust in your body. And sometimes we need other people to be with us in that state. But the most healthiest thing that so many people can do, I'm like, if you can do this, to have McDonald's occasionally, it doesn't matter. Like, this is way better for your health. Yeah. Or don't worry about the 10,000 steps. Like move your body, absolutely. Like these are important, those fundamentals. But when we move to the energetics, which is really this connecting to your body and moving this energy throughout these main parts of your physiology, that is where it's like, oh, okay, I'm no longer dictated by all these beliefs. Because right now, you said that example of, well, I had to actually create this space and I had all of these, like my brain started going, well, how dare you rest and what's happening here? And then you're resting, but you're not actually resting because you're thinking, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be. So whenever we're in shoulds, we're in our story and we're actually resisting reality. Yeah, right. We're like, that's causing stress to stress to your body because your body's like, well, I'm here right now sitting on the couch resting. But you're saying I should be doing something. Reality should be different. Yeah. So that causes a little micro stressor to the body being like reality is incorrect. Yeah. Don't trust this thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, hang on. So that's another thing. If you're noticing you're ruminating or you're in story, you're stuck here, two things, either get into an action or get into your body. That's how you get out of the story part. That's why people that are having panic attacks, they tell them to hold on to an ice block. Because then the body goes, what is this freezing cold thing? I have to pay attention to this thing. It's like the same as, do I need to go to the toilet or is there a fire alarm going off? It's like, put you in a different part of your brain. So you have, it literally can't be in that default
What
mode.
are some tips of getting into your body?
So this is where you can either, can be gentle or like, I'm going to be abrupt
Yeah.
about this. So there's research where they've gotten people that have had chronic depression to sprint as fast as they can.
Wow.
Obviously, it depends on what your physical abilities are when you're listening to this. But if that's safe for you to do, if you sprint as fast as you can, that actually shocks your nervous system into a different state. And it's very hard to think about anything other than, I can't breathe after you've sprinted as fast as you can. So that actually gets you into the body state. So you can do things like that, or having a freezing cold shower, doing those things. But I like to be a bit more gentle unless I'm really noticing that I'm ruminating and spinning and I can't get out. I'll do something a bit more abrupt. But in that sense, it's literally just focus on sensation. So if there's some people that have health anxiety or they don't feel safe at all in their body, if that is you, focus on something outside of you. So when you're going for a walk, you focus on, I'm going to look for everything that is purple on my walk, and I'm just going to look for those things. Or I'm going to focus on smells on this walk. So, oh, wow, I can smell that this person's cooking bacon and eggs for breakfast. Or I can smell these flowers. I can smell the ocean coming in through here. Oh, there's a fresh dog poo on the grass there. So you're focusing on the smells and being present. So it's called sensory seeking.
Yeah.
Because when you're focusing on a sense, you are in that body hub of your brain.
Yeah.
So it gets you out of the rumination. So if you don't feel safe in your body, doing external senses, whatever you want to do with that. And then if you do, that's where coming into your body and focus, like when I'm going to bed, and this is also a great one if you're laying in bed and your mind's racing and you're in that thinking part, and it's like, what do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do with this? Is that going to work out? Is it not going to work out? It's like overthinking, over analyzing. I'll go, how does my body feel on my sheets?
Yeah, wow.
And it's like, if I had to explain that to someone in such intricate detail, someone for some reason who had never felt anything in their life, you get really into the feeling of that and you go, oh, the mattress underneath, is that soft or this? Or like you're just getting into sensation, and then all of a sudden I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, that worked.
That's so good.
That's some really cool things that you can do to get into your body. And that's where, from that instance, then I will ask my body, how do you want to move? Like, what do you want to do? And that is the action. That is from where I take action. And when I'm saying this, in all honesty, I love to do it like this, but this is not how I work all the time.
Yeah.
I'm also someone that, like, my brain works exactly the same as everyone else's. And that predictive part of my brain is really great. It's great for everyone. It's an incredible resource and tool to use, the predictive part of your brain, the thinking part of your brain. It's awesome. But if you are in the overs of any kind, or you're noticing you have your body is mirroring back to you physical body sensations or conditions, that is a telltale sign that that part of your brain is probably on fire, and coming back into your body is always going to be really helpful. So yeah, that's what I would do, is come back to that, ask my body how it wants to move. If I'm feeling that I have a lot of this rage, I will move my body in that way. It's like, how does it want to actually move? I'm not going to like punch an old lady on a Hong Kong train, but I might punch my pillow. I might like stomp and actually move the energy through my body, because then it's like, oh, you're actually safe to feel this. This is good.
Yeah.
Anger is a great emotion. It's needed. You need to be able to be protective. Do you guys both have kids?
I have kids.
Yeah. So like, if something was going to happen with your kids, you're the lioness, you're going to come in there and mess someone up. Yeah. So it's really great. If we're feeling this underlying resentment or frustrations, they're like micro anger things. It's like, oh, you're not actually allowing yourself to lean into this. Like, there's something actually not okay with this. Feel that, and then go, okay, what do I actually need? What do I actually want to do? And then that's where you use your emotions as information, and you lean into them, as opposed to like, if I do them, they're going to become all consuming, and then I won't be able to function, and then I'm not going to be able to get all these things done. But when you do it more on a consistent basis, you use it as information.
It's big.
Yeah.
I remember, I won't never forget the time I went to my therapist, and she's like, how are you going? And I'm like, I'm so unwell. Like, I don't feel well. Like, mentally, I'm just really struggling. And we went through the session, and she was like, so, you're feeling upset and, scared, and because of this happening, she's like, that's not mentally unwell. that's really well, because if anyone was going through XYZ, they would feel sad. They would feel scared. They would feel stressed. So you're functioning great. It's just that you don't want to acknowledge that that's how you feel.
Yes.
And just resisting. I'm very much like I like to like wrap my feelings in a bow and then present them to her. And she's like, why aren't you crying? Like, why are you not emotionally reacting? And I'm like, because it's just there. Like, I've psychoanalyzed it and there you go. And she's like, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah. And that's classic of we live in the thinking and the action. This is what is happening. Tell me what to do.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, cool.
How do I like skip and
so
fix?
Because I don't want to feel whatever is underneath this, because if I feel that, then that means I'm not okay. But actually what it means is you are. And it's really great. It's that allows the energy flow. And when you actually have that power, oh my gosh, like you're so much more powerful, but we think it's weak. We think it's going to diminish us. But when we resist it, that actually creates weakness, because that's the creating of suffering. But when you actually allow it and you go, okay, how can I utilize this energy of anger, utilize this energy of sadness? It's energy. You want it. Yeah. But when you actually metabolize it and it goes through, oh, okay. Now I get to actually take action that's in alignment with me as a whole body. And there's a quote that I have in my book, my kinesiologist, she said it to me. I'm like, oh, that is so good for anyone that like lives in the head. She said, when we use our mind to make decisions, our body becomes a resource.
I love that.
But we can use, when we use our mind as the resource, our body can be the decision maker.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
So this isn't to vilify, like having a really strong mind is incredible. This predictive part is amazing, but you have to be conscious of what questions you're asking it and if you're hanging out there all the time. ChatGPT, when it first came out, what questions are you asking it? Whatever part of your life, it's going to tell you. There's a guy that I saw online and he's like asking it to tell him, oh, how good does my jacket look? And he's not wearing a jacket. And it's like, that jacket looks incredible. It looks amazing on you. It fits. And it's like, he's not even wearing a jacket. But it was just the question that he asked him, it's going to give him an answer.
Right.
So whenever we ask Google or ChatGPT anything, it's going to give you an answer. How do I build a bomb? It's going to tell you how to build a bomb. How do I build a business plan? It's going to tell you how to build a business plan. How do I write this lovely card to my friend for her birthday? It's going to tell you how to do that because of the question you asked it, because that's how that form of technology is made.
Right.
This thinking part of our brain, the default mode network, is predictive. That is how it works. It's like you can't cook an egg on a laptop. You can't. You could cook it on a stove. So how this part of the brain works is it's predictive. It is really great. If you're like, oh yeah, remember that time that you dated that asshole and these are all of the signs of that guy, and see how this person is showing all those same signs? Probably really good that you remembered that and you're not going to go anywhere near that person, right? Really great tool. Yeah. But when we have our body as a decision maker, it's really great.
Okay.
Because we want to use both of them and we have to know where. And this is where information isn't the only answer. We need information with wisdom.
Right.
Which is what you guys were talking about before with the health trackers. Health trackers are what? It's information. And blood tests are what? Information. What's the wisdom? How are we deciphering it? How are we actually listening to that? Because we could have a really terrible sleep score and we could be like, oh, why is that? And I need to do this and I'm going to change my circadian rhythm. And yeah, maybe that helps. And great. We have used that tool as a really great resource to go, oh, I know that when I do these things, I can see that that's benefited me. But if we're always in there, we're always checking, it's replaced our wisdom. Yeah. When we're actually more disconnected from our body. Yeah. And this is, one of the things that I'm curious about moving forward is how can we build technology that actually helps us stay connected to our body and in deeper connection, as opposed to replacing it. And then all of a sudden we just rely on that to tell us how we feel.
And there's scary, so much, and you wonder with technology, like I don't think that they care about that. Like
they care about the dollars.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is,
and this is where it's like wellness is we've achieved it.
Yeah.
I achieved all the things. because I did all the things. I did the thinking
Closed
and the
all my
doing. So then
rings.
I should feel like this. And like,
I
why don't
know.
I feel like this?
Mm.
I'm doing all the ice baths and the saunas and my diet's dialed in and I'm exercising. Why don't I feel great? Because all you're doing is
Us
thinking
chat.
and doing and you're not actually feeling.
Yeah.
You're not going, oh, yeah, I had my workout class booked in this morning, but my body really feels like actually going for a walk slowly on the beach. Like that would be incredible. But I said I was going to do this and I'm that person that does that. And I posted to my followers that I was going to do that. So I have to go and do that. Otherwise, who am I?
Yeah.
And then
So
you just get into this whole
It's
thing.
so, yeah.
a reminder to like use them as tools.
Yes.
But with a grain of salt as well, and don't lose the art of connecting with
Yeah.
your amazing tool of a body. We are running out of time. Oh, five.
Oh, angel numbers.
But I do want to.
Sorry, it's embarrassing. I love it.
I feel like
Luckily, we're not in the
I've
same.
learned more today than I have
My whole life, literally.
No, so I do want to talk to you before you leave because it's been something that I wanted to ask you about, the rise of peptides and your thoughts on that, because it's just everywhere at the moment and it's just so interesting to see it rise so quickly.
Yeah. And I think this is, if it's something that's rising really quickly and it's like, it's clearly a fad, right? Like it's by definition a fad. Everyone's talking about it, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a good or a bad thing, but we can just identify that it's a fad.
Right.
Yeah. Peptides are either two or more amino acids joined together. So we create peptides in our body anyway. But when we create them in our body, there's also so many other reactions that are happening at the same time because our body has created it based on the demands, based on all the information that it's getting. But when we take anything that's external to us and we introduce it, we can't expect that all of the other reactions that were going to take place when our own body creates it are going to happen at the same time. And also when it's something that's synthetic, it doesn't respond exactly the same as something that we create as well. So there is definitely a time and a place for them, but also what I'm curious about is why is all of a sudden everyone needing them?
Yeah, like they've been around for so long already and then now all of a sudden, like you say, it's a fad.
Yeah, and there's marketing. Like insulin is a peptide.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're a type 1 diabetic and your pancreas does not secrete insulin by itself, absolutely you need to take that. Yeah. But then if we're introducing something like a GLP-1 is a peptide as well, like a Ozempic, why is now everyone having that? And you can have it, but there's all these other side effects that can happen. And also some people, they get really amazing benefits from it. So it's not that everyone needs them or if there is any talk of they're incredible, everyone needs them, or they're the devil, no one needs them, I just run away from it.
Right.
Or I go, hang on.
Yeah.
There's always nuance.
Yeah.
If it's black and white thinking, there's fear somewhere in this and there's a rush, there's lack of spaciousness. It's I have to join this because everyone's on it, or I don't want to do it because everyone's on it. There's all of these things at play. So I think there's definitely a time and a place for them. I think it's dangerous when we self-prescribe things and
don't
we
know where
don't
they're
fully
coming
understand
from.
it. Exactly, because it's not as regulated in Australia and the FDA and TGA here. You have to know what you're actually putting into your body.
Yeah.
Because and if you're thinking, oh, this is going to be my miracle.
No. Yeah. It's not a magic.
If you think that anything's going to be your miracle, that's not how the body works. You can't introduce one thing and everything be fixed. Yeah. Because that's why we have side effects of things. You could have a Panadol, but there's all these side effects that happen because you introduce one thing, the whole body has all of these cascades around it to adapt. Yeah. So you can't just introduce one thing and then all of a sudden all of the other things fix it. That's called a panacea, a cure-all. It just doesn't work that way. It can't. And that's why when I talk about the fundamentals, that's why I talk about all four of them and how they interact with each other. It's not just the nervous system. If you fix the nervous system, then everything's fine. It's like, you're not nourishing your body well. Yeah. You're not moving. You're not actually alignment with the sun. It's like you're a human being. You need to just meet the fundamentals. So if you've got symptoms and you're like, okay, I need to just come back to meeting your fundamentals and notice how your body shifts and changes. You're like, oh, I actually feel really great in my life. That is a great sign. there's several things you can do for your fundamentals. But one thing that I say is do the toddler test.
The last question is
yeah.
which could you give our listeners one thing they could do this week to reconnect with their body? So
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
much
So
answering
this is on that. So toddler test is, I don't have any kids yet, but my younger brother is up here with his toddlers, and if one of them are cracking the shits, why might that be? It's 5 things, really. Are they hungry?
I was
or
going to say
thirsty?
hungry. They're probably hungry or tired.
Yep. Have they slept? Are they rested? Do they need their nappy changed?
Mhm.
Have they played? And have they
Mhm.
connected with have they had hugs, like been outside?
Mm.
Really? Have you
Oh my
done
God, I
those
love
things?
that.
So a lot of the times, like yesterday, for instance,
I haven't had a hug today.
But
Oh, no, I did.
that's
Sorry,
often,
before.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
fine.
We hugged. Yeah. How dare you forget that? Yeah. So if you are noticing that you're sort of going through the motions or doing the things, you're hitting the 10,000 steps, you're eating all the right foods, but you just sort of feel a bit disconnected or you don't really know what's going on with your body, just come
Hold
back
the
to those
test.
things and go, yeah, I was sitting at my laptop and I needed to go to the toilet, 2 hours ago, but I just forgot about it. Or I thought I was just going to get these emails done, but it's 5 hours after I said I was going to go have lunch and now it's dinner time. Oh, well. So that's where it's like, okay, actually listen to your body. Are you hungry? Do you need to go to the toilet? Have you connected with someone that you love? Have you been outside and played? Have you actually rested? It sounds so simple, almost stupid,
Mhm.
but like it works.
Yeah, and we have collectively overcomplicated a lot
I
of
was going
things.
to say, like,
so-
life is meant to be simple.
Yeah. Well, we learned so much.
That was
in
amazing. I literally could just keep talking to you all day.
I would love to. Like, I was like holding back so many times of like personal things that I wanted to like get like. This is my doctor's appointment. I was like, that's not relevant.
I do have online appointments as well and other practitioners that I've trained up. So
yes, I should
there
do
are
that.
those, yes.
And that's at the
at
Female Fundamentals.
Yeah.
And we'll link all of your
Yeah.
socials in our show notes as well,
Yeah.
so ladies can find you. But
There's even so much information on your Instagram too.
while you're
Yeah.
skateboarding, which
Yeah,
can I
it's
say
so
is just
cool.
Just like, it's very, very
And
cool.
there's
So
a
good.
podcast and a book as well. So there's lots
Yay.
of lots
So
of
many
easy to
resources.
access information.
Thank you so much.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, girls. It was fun.
Pretty Fit is powered by Revia.